But when God steps into your life, it is because He wants to make you great, greater than what you think you can make out of your life. At the beginning, you may not see. On the surface, people can ask you, what is it that will come out of this thing that you are doing? But the end will justify the means. The Lord, who called and interrupt a man, will never send him back home empty-handed. He will never make your contemporary colleagues who have zoned themselves out from divine interruption, who have zoned themselves out from the use of God to be better than you. They will never better than you. There is nothing that they will achieve that God will not give you greater than what they possess. There is no ladder that they climb, whether in academics or in influence or in anything, that God will not take you far, far greater. Because you are dealing with heavenly kingdom and not just earthly one. And he that comes from above is above all. That is the principle. Time will fail me to talk about many people. Will you talk about the life of Nehemiah? When you get to read the book of Nehemiah chapter 1 and chapter 2, Nehemiah, he was in a good position. He was serving the king. He was a servant in the palace of the king. When they brought the news about how the wall of his own country, the wall of Jerusalem, has fallen and has been torn apart, and that report made him so sad, and he could not eat because he had passion for his country. And the next time he will appear before the king noticed in his countenance, why are you so sad this way? Hey, why will I not be sad? The wall of Jerusalem has been torn apart. People are weak and they are sick there. And the king began to ask, do you want to go? Say, yes, I want to go. Do you know that that time, that was the day that Nehemiah resigned from serving earthly king and he engaged in the service of the heavenly king? Because the king released him and he built the wall of Jerusalem. He was doing fine where he was serving the king. He was eating the best meal. He was not the one suffering. They could have given him the report and he said, oh, I'm feeling sorry for those that are there. Me, I'm already here and enjoying you. And he will just be sorry and he will do nothing about it because he's selfish. But that was not Nehemiah. You know, we have those kind of people in the church today. You talk about souls that are perishing. You talk about souls that are suffering. You talk about those that are in prison. And it does not even enter into their heart. Because everything is good for them. So if we are okay, we don't care about what is happening to others. That was not Nehemiah. That report alone was a base that the Lord used as a tool of divine interruption. And we are hearing about Nehemiah today. When God come to interrupt your life is because he wants to make you relevant in this generation and in the generation to come. You know my prayer for you? My prayer is that you will never be disobedient to heavenly vision. My prayer is that you will courageously let God come and take the rightful position in your life. Young people, allow God to trim and train your life now. All your colleagues that you think they are enjoying, they are not enjoying. Honestly, sin wreck people. We talked about sin last week. That anybody that God is going to use, he will not only win them from every affection, he will win them from sin. Because sin wreck people. Sin reduces a man. Sin make a man beggar. Sin make a man lesser than who God intended him to be. Sin destroy lives. Sin will sink every destiny, no matter how glorious it is. If anyone has said he's going to be a friend to sin, he only wants to destroy himself and his future. But when somebody will say, I will allow God to interrupt me, I will allow God to take over, your friend that you think they were enjoying, they will actually become your servant later. Because when sin finishes with them, he will leave them to become empty carcass, nothing in their lives. With this little young, how young I am, I've seen how sin destroy lives. And I know many of my colleagues that we grew up together, they are nowhere to be found. So I'm praying that the Lord Almighty will open your hearts. You will see this as an opportunity and say, Lord, take over anything. I will go for you. If God engage you, we want to make you a candidate of glory. What is it that you are holding on? In what we have been saying, Lord, don't interrupt me now. Next time I will do it. Next year I will do it. Let me finish this. Those that God has used, they don't finish what they were doing. It is because of pursuing their goal, their ambition, that the Lord entered into their lives and they gave it up and they followed God. And the Lord made them something. He will make you something. He will make you great. And you will be relevant in his kingdom. You will be relevant in his agenda. Several battles David fought. David, because he yielded to the Lord, because he surrendered to God, the Lord did not only preserve him, the Lord granted him opportunity to live long. And he became what God intended him to be. How many kings reigned even after David in Israel? And we don't hear about them. To the point that the Lord promised that the coming Messiah will come out from the roots of Jesse and the kingdom of David. And it happened. And even Jesus, he will never be ashamed to say, I am the son of David. Do you remember what that Bartholomew said? Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Did Jesus say, no, I'm not the son of David? How How did David live his life? Sorry. That Jesus was not ashamed to identify himself with David, even after 1,000 years that they had reigned. David yielded to God when the Lord said, follow me. The same thing that he did to him, he's putting on the table for you. I want to give you an opportunity to pray today. Lord, help me to heed to your divine interruption. I will give you some minutes to pray this morning. I want you to tell it to go. Just think through your life. In what way have been the way that God has been trying to engage you, and you are just showing yourself out? God has been calling you, and you have been saying, well, I will do it later. I'm busy now when I finish this plan. And you've never finished that plan. And time doesn't wait for you. You know we are not getting younger. We are getting older every day. And one day, he will call us. One day, grace will expire. One day, we will not have time anymore. Many saints of old that walked with him, they were interrupted. Nehemiah was interrupted. Elisha was interrupted. David was interrupted. Moses was interrupted. Abraham was interrupted. Many saints of old, they were interrupted. God has been trying to interrupt you. Have you yielded to him? Honestly, tell it to God. Lord, if you will use me, I will say yes. We are not saying that you must become a pastor, but you must become a tool in the hand of God. That even in your profession, it will make you great because you are a candidate of excellence. He can take you beyond where you are if you give him the first place in your heart. As a student, you can become great. Can you tell it to God? You may not be allowed to finish your plan. You may not be allowed to complete that plan, that project, if God actually is in need of your life. But he will give you a greater privilege, a greater opportunity, a greater name than the name that you can make out of yourself. As we respond in the place of prayer, get up. Go away from your people. Go away from your kindred. Go to the land that I will show you.